Oleksandr Usyk is not just a fighter. He is a storm wrapped in silence, a smiling assassin who punishes arrogance with precision, and a man who has built his legend not only on skill, but on the way he dismantles those foolish enough to disrespect him. To face Usyk is to face a mirror of your own hubris, because if you enter the ring mocking him, smirking at him, or daring to insult him, you will not only lose, you will be broken, humiliated, and left wondering why you ever opened your mouth in the first place. Tonight, we step into the story of brutal karma, the nights when cocky challengers crossed the line and learned the hard way why Oleksandr Usyk is regarded as one of the greatest boxers of his generation. The year was 2018. Usyk had already conquered the cruiserweight division, but now he was stepping into one of the defining moments of his career against Tony Bellew. The British fighter was brash, confident, and absolutely certain of his power. He boasted about the one thing he claimed Usyk didn't have: a punch that could turn out the lights in an instant. Bellew promised he would stop Usyk, break him, and walk away victorious. To him, Usyk was just another obstacle, another stepping stone in a career defined by grit and self-belief. But the Ukrainian champion saw through the bluster, and when the bell rang, the truth began to unfold. Bellew strutted forward, cocky smirk never leaving his face, taunting, talking, throwing wild punches as if the night would be his. Yet slowly, methodically, Usyk began to dismantle him. His footwork carved patterns around the ring, his jab piercing through Bellew's bravado like needles. And then it happened. With one lightning-quick left hand, Usyk detonated Bellew's jaw and sent him crashing to the canvas. The arena fell silent for a split second before erupting in chaos. The cocky promises, the arrogance, the insults, all of it was extinguished in a single blow. Usyk didn't just win, he delivered karma in its purest form. But Bellew was not the first, nor the last, to learn that lesson. Years earlier, in 2017, Usyk faced Marco Huck, a man whose arrogance reached such heights that he dared not only to provoke Usyk, but even insult his mother. That was no longer just trash talk, it was war. For Usyk, this fight became about more than belts and rankings. It was about honor, about defending the family name that he carried into every battle. From the opening bell, Huck tried everything: dirty shots, rough tactics, even switching his stance awkwardly in a desperate attempt to throw Usyk off. But all it did was fuel the Ukrainian's fury. Usyk turned the ring into a cage, closing in on Huck with relentless combinations. His fists found their mark again and again until Huck's body could take no more. The referee had no choice but to stop the fight, saving Huck from further punishment. But the message was already sent. Insult the man's family, and you will pay the price in blood and humiliation. 3 years later, Usyk made the move to heavyweight, and the world waited to see if his dominance would carry over to a division filled with giants. His first major test came in 2020 against Derek Chisora, a man known as much for his out-of-ring antics as his brawling style inside it. Chisora promised fireworks, swearing that Usyk would get the fright of his life. He charged forward in the opening rounds, throwing heavy punches, trying to smother Usyk with raw aggression. But Usyk, calm as always, adjusted with surgical precision. His punches slipped past Chisora's guard like daggers, slicing into him with increasing frequency. Round by round, the bigger man slowed, his power fading, his confidence draining. By the end, Chisora was no longer the predator. He was the prey. Usyk sent him back to the circus, exposed as another loudmouth whose bark was far worse than his bite. Not every humiliation came on the grand stage of world title fights. Early in his career, Usyk faced the experienced Caesar David Kren, a veteran, who thought he could use his experience and size to overwhelm the young Ukrainian prospect. From the opening moments, Kren taunted him, mocking him inside the ring, dismissing the young man's skills as nothing more than hype. But that arrogance was a grave miscalculation. Usyk toyed with him, weaving in and out, testing him, setting traps with every movement. And then, when the moment was right, Usyk buried a vicious liver shot into his opponent's body. The veteran crumbled, gasping for breath, the fight drained out of him in an instant. With one perfectly timed punch, Usyk shattered not just Kren's body, but his pride. And then there was the night when a younger challenger dared to insult Usyk directly before stepping into the ring. "I'm younger. I'm stronger. I can't wait to put him to sleep." the man declared with smug certainty. But Usyk never wasted words. He let his fists do the talking. From the opening seconds, he tore into his opponent with clinical precision, breaking him down piece by piece, each punch stripping away confidence until nothing was left but fear. And when the end came, it was sudden, brutal, and final. A lightning-fast shot detonated on his jaw, and the man who had promised to put Usyk to sleep found himself unconscious on the canvas. That night, Usyk didn't just win another fight. He became the first three-time undisputed champion in history, cementing his place in boxing's pantheon. Over and over, the story is the same. The cocky talk, the insults, the cheap shots, the arrogance of men who see Usyk's smile, his calm demeanor, and mistake it for weakness. They believe his kindness outside the ring means he can be pushed around inside it. They see a man who dances, who laughs, who plays the Joker in press conferences, and they forget that behind it all is a warrior with the precision of a surgeon and the fury of a storm. And every time, without fail, Usyk reminds them. He teaches them in the only language that matters, the language of fists, pain, and inevitability. What makes Usyk so dangerous is not just his skill. It is the way he weaponizes disrespect. For him, every insult is fuel, every dirty move a spark. He transforms arrogance into energy and delivers it back tenfold. When Tony Bellew mocked his power, Usyk knocked him out cold. When Marco Huck insulted his mother, Usyk beat him so badly the referee had to save him. When Derek Chisora promised chaos, Usyk turned him into a spectacle. And when younger fighters dared to call him old, slow, or weak, he responded by cementing his legacy in history. Oleksandr Usyk's story is not just one of victories. It is one of brutal karma, a career built on punishing those who forget the code of respect. He is proof that true greatness doesn't need trash talk or theatrics. It needs discipline, mastery, and the ability to let your fists speak louder than words ever could. And for every cocky rat who dares to step into his ring, the outcome is always the same. Disrespect him, and you will be destroyed. But now I'll leave the question to you. Which of these moments was the most satisfying example of Usyk delivering? Karma? Was it the dramatic knockout of Tony Bellew, the savage dismantling of Marco Huck after those unforgivable insults, or the way he tamed Derek Chisora's chaos? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the story of one of boxing's true kings, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next story from the world of combat sports.